Are you serious? Never underestimate the little walker. It's now pushing the big one. It's just carrying it. Oh my god, that's amazing. What's up guys, my name is Khan and we're back today in Scrap Mechanic with a build that I believe was suggested by a viewer in the comments a few times, and that was of course to build a hexapod. So a hexapod is a walker that uses 6 legs as far as I could tell. I wasn't sure if there was anything else more specific about it, but it's a walker that uses 6 legs. When I first thought about building a hexapod, I said, okay, I want to have a really cool leg design, and I want my leg to only use pistons. I don't want to use anything else. So I came up with this awesome leg design, and I really like this. I mean, this thing is cool. If we sit in the seat there, you can see we have a piston on the back to control, you know, even the forward and back movement, and it's just it adjusts itself when you first spawn it so that it pulls the piston backwards. Like, that's just really cool to move the leg. And then of course we've got 3 sets of pistons there, and they use this sort of inverted pipe to allow it to push the knee from the inside, for example. You can see there. And then of course I spawned 6 of these, and with the amount of bearings and pistons, when I welded them together, I crashed the world and couldn't get the world back. So I tried it again and had the same thing happen, so I decided, okay, well, this is obviously not going to work. And then I realized, you know, we don't really need these 3 pistons here. All we really need to do is lift the leg up from the one section and then have it tilt back and forth. So we can make a leg that's really just as simple as this, right? And on these legs, really, there's a rotation joint and there's a angle, like a tilt joint, and then of course we have a piston that will push the whole leg up and down, but we don't need those articulating joints that are all along the leg here. It uses a very simple system, so I have it in groups of 3. So the front left leg and the rear left leg are always in sync, and the middle leg is on the right side is in sync with those 2. So it basically walks with 2 groups of 3. And if we turn there, this one, all it just kind of does is just limps. It just stops the one set of legs and it will tilt. But obviously this is not a very good, you know, a very good walker. There's no reverse on this walker. And the issue was I was dealing with the logic a little bit wrong on this one. The easiest way to build a walker is to do a 4-step system. Let's say we want to walk in this direction, right? So all we would really have to do if we wanted to walk to the left is pull the leg back, then lift the leg up, then move it forward while it's in the air, then put it down, and then pull it back. And that's a 4-step process. You can see, so it's, you know, push the leg down, step 1, step 2, pull the leg back, step 3, lift the leg up, step 4, move the leg forward, and then repeat. And we could easily sequence this in logic, no problem, and now you can see we've got a, you know, a simple walking mechanism. But the problem is this is slow. If you want to do that on a controller, for example, you'd need 4 steps on the controller to get it to repeat that pattern, and you know, I'm clicking this with buttons, but obviously I can do this a lot faster than we could sequence with controllers. Or the other option is we have 4 steps of timers, and we, you know, play around with the timer steps, and overall it's just, you know, it's a slower process. The faster way to make something walk in this case is to sort of combine the 2 steps. So for example, if we're going again to the left, we can lift the leg up while we move it forward, and it's not really, it's only going to be in the contact with the ground there for such a short time, it's not a big deal. Or so you can lift it just slightly early and then move it forward, and same sense we can put it down slightly early and then move it back, and now we've got a 2-step process. The hexapods that I did, that's how they work. So they all work on that 2-step sequence. So it pushes the leg down at the same time as it moves the leg forward, and that actually creates this sort of walking movement, but it makes it relatively fluid, and it doesn't make the steps as mechanical feeling. Like when I was doing it with 4 steps, it feels very mechanical because it's like, okay, legs up, legs back, legs down, legs forward. It's very, you know, sort of clunky feeling. But this walker has 0 stabilization glitches. It's got no sensors to keep itself balanced. It literally walks simply based on its 6 legs. And so this was the prototype version 1. Again, not very good. And then I decided to evolve it into version 2, which is identical. I will upload this to the workshop. I should probably paint it first. Maybe I'll paint this and then upload it to the workshop. This is the improved version of the previous one. So this one, it has a few more buttons, but you don't really need to use the buttons to drive. So it uses one button is the only button that really drives, and that's just to go in reverse. You don't really need reverse much though, but you can use it with the 1 button. Then the 2 button activates downward thrust if you want to like climb walls or something like that. 3 activates just an automatic driving forward with a switch, so you don't have to hold W all the time. And then 4 activates reverse as a button, like as a switch instead of the button, so you don't have to hold the button all the time. But really, you can just drive with W, and then you can use A to turn in the one direction, and when it does that, it'll just, you know, have the one set of legs move forward while the other set moves backwards. And then D is the same thing, A and D, and then just turns you left and right. And then we can, you know, hold W and S and all that and move. Now, the cool thing with this system is it does use the 2-step process, so that was the first thing. But the second thing is, when I was figuring this out, I realized if you hold 2 controls at the same time, you'll run into some issues. So I did make it that when you're holding forward and you choose to go left or right, the left or right controls will override the forward. So the forward, I'm still holding the forward control, but we won't go forward at all until I let go of the left turn control here. And you know, this hexapod's great. I mean, you can just kind of walk it around. But the logic I used here, it is very excessive. You can see there's a very large circuit board, and if we pull out the connection tool, there's a lot of stuff going on. And that's of course for a few reasons. One, I didn't group the functions on the legs, so you can group up some of the functions to be paired together on the same controller, but you can see here I have each piston on its own controller and each rotation bearing on its own controller, so there's a lot of extra logic that's put in for that, as well as, you know, there's some extra logic that's put in for the way I did the steering and that sort of thing. But really it's not needed, and I'll show you a much smaller version of this. But we're gonna go climb that wall there. It'll take a bit usually to get the first couple steps in the transition spot, and then once it gets through those first steps, it just you know, it just starts going. It's very creepy looking, I will say that. Very, very creepy looking. All right, let's go, buddy. Come on, you can do it. Don't slip. Come on, you can do it. It'll make it eventually. We'll just turn here a bit. It's quite amazing. Like, it's, you know, we're almost inverted. The thruster's obviously the only reason why it's capable of doing this, but it's really cool how even when you think it's stuck on the rocks, it's really not. Once the legs sit themselves into the new position, it just it'll just keep walking. Yeah, no, there we go. Perfect. Come on. Come on. I should probably look at making a faster version of it, obviously. This one's as fast as I can make it with the controller speed, so I'd have to go away from controllers if I wanted it to be faster than this. Let's not, we're gonna center on this rock. I don't wanna, yeah, we're gonna have to slide here with the, we're high centered here. Come on, buddy. All right, there we go. Let's just go this way to the left. There we go. That's better. Come on, up, up, up. All right, here we go. We're good. We're lined up now. It is a little bit difficult to have it steer on the rocks. It sometimes doesn't want to behave properly. Come on, you can do it. There we go. There, we're gonna make it. We're gonna make it. Look at that, perfect. But it does transition almost flawlessly from one surface to another, because as soon as the middle legs sort of get over that surface, it's good to go. There we go. Come on, buddy. I mean, it probably needs a little bit longer legs to do this sort of rock crawling, but we can make it right up there. Awesome. And then we'll just rotate this way, and then we'll just keep walking. Overall, guys, I'm really, really happy with this build. I will upload this one to the workshop, but I do want to upload one other one as well. So I looked at the logic I had done on the hexapod, and I thought to myself, I said, you know, I've got to make this logic a lot smaller, because the logic I did on that one, did you just, like, you clipped the hill? Are you coming back over this way? No, he's going that way. Okay. And so the logic I made on that one, you know, it was pretty good, but it was very large. And so I decided, you know what, let's see if we can shrink this down and make a mini hexapod. And so I ended up taking, let's do a comparison check here. So here's the difference in size between the two vehicles. And so on the first hexapod, this is the amount of logic I used. It's really just a bunch of and conditions that it's checking, as well as just a timer here at the very front. So this timer is your start timer that determines, you know, each step. And the timer always runs as soon as you spawn the creation, and it'll never stop running, and it always synchronizes the steps no matter what maneuver you're doing. So all the maneuvers run off this master timer, and then after that it's really just a bunch of and conditions here at the bottom. And so I thought, you know, we've got to be able to take this amount of logic and simplify it, and that's where this comes in. So I took all that logic and all the controllers I was using and everything else, and I actually was able to shrink it down to just be this flat platform. And this stuff that protrudes on the back here, that's just the WASD converter. So it has a button for reverse. This piston will slide out and activate that sensor for W, and then the A and D converter on the top. I decided to make the mini hexapod, and the mini hexapod is awesome. So it's just a single seat. Now it doesn't have downward thrusters. We could use the modded blocks and make some downward thrusters, but it works in the exact same way. So we've got the 2 button for an automatic cruise control forward, 3 for an automatic cruise control back, and those 4 logic gates on the back actually show what you're selecting. And then, you know, D to rotate to the right and A to rotate to the left. And in the same sense, if we're moving backwards or we're moving forwards, if we use A and D, we override that command. Overall, I just wanted to see how much I could shrink the logic, and obviously you can. I will upload this mini one as well to the workshop. I'll probably try painting it as well. Overall, the big hexapods definitely a lot faster. Definitely got a lot more power with double pistons on each leg, and the thrusters, of course, to give the ability to climb. And you can see there we can just walk into this. Oh boy, that's yeah, they're all too close to that monstrous piston leg. Okay, here we go. See, this one can literally just bully the other one out of the way, even without the thrusters. Right? It's got so much more power. It'll just sort of run it over. Oh, the little one's winning now. Are you serious? Never underestimate the little walker. It's now pushing the big one. It's just carrying it. Oh my god, that's amazing. I can't believe we have a little walker carrying a massive. So anyways, the little walker is clearly superior, as we can see here. But anyways, guys, I will upload both of these to the workshop. I'll probably paint the little one as well before I do that. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I've really been enjoying making walkers. I spent a long time making these 2 walkers. Mainly because I was trying all sorts of different leg configurations and different ways to do the logic, but I really like the way I do the logic here, and you know, it's very easy to understand if you can just you can just kind of strip it down and watch it for a bit without the seat on it, and you can really start to understand what it's doing. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below, and while you're at it, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Let me know if you have any other kind of walkers that you'd like to see. I really like the mechanics of them. I like how animated they look, and I really like how they move. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments down below, and as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see y'all next time.